What's up, Samurai? We are back with some more Wayfinder. Or should I do the Trove intro like Wayfinder? I don't know. Does it work with this game? It kind of does. So anyways, today we are actually going to be doing our first patch notes. So that's kind of cool. This patch ended up rolling out, I think, yesterday. But I'm recording it today and gonna try and get this video out to you guys. I do have the next Let's Play episode already recorded. I've been really wanting to live stream lately, but I've just been so under the weather with like weird things going on and just being busy with other things and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, you don't care about any of that. So the summary of this patch is it basically nerfed KYROS like a lot, but we'll get into it. So first of all, the combat and gameplay. So Knight's Maw event cooldown has been significantly reduced from 2 hours to every 60 seconds in the Highlands. That's huge. Burst rifles now automatically begin firing after reloading, which is great because a lot of the time, you know, basically when you reload and do the special reload, most of the guns would fire immediately, but burst rifles would not. Fleas will no longer continue to spawn during the Sphere of Influence event in the Highlands. Arcane buildup mastery will correctly increase damage based on momentum for all executioner melee weapon types. Basically, it would just go... It was weird and not being calculated properly. Arcane buildup mastery level 3 will deal arcane energy bursts for all executioner melee weapon types as intended. Sniper rifle mastery correctly boosts damage at long range. Apparently it didn't do that properly. Knockbacks now respect dodge invincibility frames. You know how often I would get very frustrated in my videos, and you'll probably see this in the Let's Play videos to come, where we're in the middle of dodging and we still get knocked around like a ping pong ball. So that hopefully should be rectified. I haven't gotten to mess with this patch too much yet though. Echo rarity type text in the Echo's menu now matches its correct rarity, thank God. And then we've got some more specific patch notes for specific characters and quests and so on and so forth. So first of all, NISS. NISS's lingering shadow buff icon refreshes correctly in the player HUD after 3 stacks when active. KYROS. Level 3 of KYROS's arcane focus will now deal the intended additional instances of damage. They also fixed incorrect per level attribute budget amount, causing heroic KYROS to be more powerful at level 30 than intended. So even though he was basically one of the strongest characters in the game, that remains to be seen now. He might not be, but I haven't heard feedback from you guys that have your KYROS already maxed out yet. VENOMESS. So Venom thrusters now activate immediately and move slightly faster. That is huge for Venomous mains. You know, I kind of have been using Venomous a lot, and I already know that is a very big deal. So when using Venom thrusters with no movement input, you will no longer travel off to the side instead of going backwards. So now you'll actually go backwards as if you were standing still and doing a backwards dodge. So that's great. Using Venom thruster while ADS or blocking will no longer cause the player to travel off to the side as well, thank God. Quests. So quests have actually gotten quite a significant change as well. Players will no longer get kicked when collecting loot during the Lighting the Flame quest dungeon instance. I guess people were getting kicked from that. Removed a duplicate Road to Ruin quest name at Seeker Avala in Deeproot Holt. Fixed a bug where side quest XP was scaling unintentionally with difficulty spheres. So I mentioned this, I forget whether it was live streams or in a Let's Play episode, but basically what you could do is if you would end up getting a side quest and then you turned it in within a higher instance difficulty of that dungeon, you would get a lot more XP. I don't really know why they changed that. I mean, I guess at the same time, it kind of encouraged people to go well above their difficulty suggestion. But XP is a struggle in this game, so I find it weird that they're kind of reducing our options to grind up our characters while not adding solutions. But anyways, Hidden Knowledge side quests can now be completed in any Arulian Lost Zone and also counts any variant of the Decoder event. And now, speaking of which, the Lost Zones has its own category. So known actions kicking the player with problem-saving user data have been addressed, thank God. Alternate personas will now appear equipped on Wayfinder models at the expedition rewards screen. So when we would complete dungeons and we would see our characters being the default guy, well, now that should be changed. Gloom ambush events in Lost Zones will now reward the player with Gloomstone shards upon completion. That's nice because Lord knows I'm suffering from my Gloomstone lack thereof. Reduce the amount of enemies that spawn during the excavation unit, supply raid, supply run, chain gang, and what lies beneath events in the pit. Also a very welcome change because that was some pretty difficult random events to do inside dungeons, man. Or at least it was for me because most of the time I'm playing solo. Enemies at the end of the Lost Zone expeditions can no longer spawn out of bounds and prevent players' ability to complete the expedition. I actually had that happen once. I was fortunate to only have it happen once. I've heard it happen to a lot of other people, but basically I was doing an expedition, joined random players, and I saw this random guy attacking the wall, and then I listened and I heard the enemy inside the wall and we couldn't complete the dungeon. So that sucked. Party invites can no longer be sent to any online player actively in a Lost Zone instance. So I guess that was probably an issue where people get spam invited while they're in the middle of dungeons, or maybe it would glitch stuff out because you would join the party and then pull them out or something. I don't know. New music variants have been added to the deep mining expeditions. So that's actually pretty cool that we've got some new soundtracks. Hunts have also been changed. So rifles no longer can transfer an orb to husk enemy by shooting it during the Dread Legion hunt. That apparently is huge because a lot of you guys in my Discord have been saying how about the Dread Legion being absolutely ridiculous, so that's nice. The number of enemies that spawn during each phase of Dread Legion has been reduced. Bombs will now explode quicker when passed to an enemy in the Dread Legion hunt. Players can no longer get stuck and die between the holographic tiles in the Dread Legion hunt. It seems like all of this is just related to the Dread Legion hunt, which was again the boss that I heard a lot of people complaining about. The hand rejoined ground slam attack area of effect warning indicators are now visible during the Argent Hand hunt. Thank God. Fixed an issue where some hunts were rewarding unintended loot on completion. Now we're moving on to some other categories as well, which is housing. Reduce the amount of resources required to craft housing item recipes. How about while you're at it, you just remove these housing items from the store? No one's stupid enough to buy these. Give me more player skins or weapon skins, bro. Anyways, temporarily, players will be unable to switch their equipped Wayfinder or weapon while inside their apartment. I still find it hilarious that they call it an apartment in a fantasy setting universe where we literally have shadows killing people. The Trickster artifact now has a cooldown timer and can only be interacted with by the player who owns the apartment. That scares me. So basically, for those of you that don't know, there are artifacts that you can end up getting in the game as rare drops or what have you. And if you end up putting them into your house, you can activate them and get a temporary buff while you're out and adventuring and stuff like that. I hate that system because I feel like it's kind of a way to force the housing to feel like it's interesting. But as you know, I hate the amount of load times that we have to constantly deal with in this game. Anyways, they, I guess, fixed that and made it so that other random players couldn't spam it in your world. There's some localization settings or fixes. So fixed several miscellaneous text issues throughout the game. Translated VO, I guess voiceover, has been added to numerous quests and cutscenes. There is also going to end up being some MISS changes and then some known issues after that. So for the MISC, there is the Enchanted Tower Compass item reward from the Exalted Pack will now appear in the player's key item inventory. Well, let's see about that. Because I've got that, I got that pack and I don't see it. So maybe this update didn't actually end up going live, or once again, they've just kind of broken it and it's not here. Or I'm an idiot and, oh yeah, I am an idiot. It's right here. Wow, it's only 5% increase for the freaking battle pass. That's stupid. It should be 10%. But either way, that's just basically for the $150 pack you get. This thing, you get a 5% XP bonus increase for whatever battle pass you're working on, which Kind of lame when you think about it, but I guess it's better than nothing. I don't know. 5% reward tower XP is earned from the enchanted tower compass item as intended. I guess it wasn't doing that before. Purchased founders packs will visually display as owned in the shop menu. Players can now immediately equip newly acquired wayfinders or weapons from founders packs without needing to travel first. So there was an issue where in order to refresh when you ended up getting stuff, you know, with your founders pack, you would have to go to the next screen or whatever. It wasn't as simple as just logging into the game. You had to log in and then transfer somewhere else to kind of get the game to recognize everything that you had. One thing I want to see as well, did they end up finally fixing the shop? No, they still haven't fixed the shop here. I also don't think they've given us our compensation rewards yet, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So anyways, they also mentioned that several echoes now have their missing icons. Camera collision improvements have been added throughout the game, I guess just when it clips into the walls and stuff like that. So there are known issues as well. So helper coins are no longer rewarded to players upon completing expeditions. Completion in the Codex Halls, the Pit, and the Shrouded Woods. Helper coins will be rewarded to players in all other zones and hunts. That's kind of weird. Debug text is visible in the duplicate bindings pop-up settings in the settings menu. Naming inconsistencies appear from weapons throughout several menus. Survivalist critical force mastery does not increase crit chance based on the player momentum generated yet. Same type echo cost reduction is not applied consistently. So by using the same echo for fusion, it's supposed to end up making the cost. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Track quests may not appear in the player HUD and can impede quest progress. Heroic KYROS' arcane focus ability VFX can remain on an enemy and continuously grow in size. I've never seen that bug, but I actually am excited for that one because that sounds hilarious. Then there's also issues we are still tracking. So players unable to sell accessories to Venge. I guess you're supposed to be able to sell them to him. I didn't know about that. Improving camera behavior, especially in small confined spaces. Wayfinder abilities firing off in the incorrect direction. How about when I use my ability, it puts me on cooldown, but it didn't actually use the ability. That would be nice. Addressing feedback with single imbuement mutators. Tooth and Claw epitaph showing as a rifle. Talon of Pyre crashing Highlands. That's hilarious. Please note, a previous version of these notes included the following. Who cares? So yeah, basically, they've addressed this before, and they said that they would give us an update of our compensation this week, but it's already Thursday, so we'll see what happens. I guess they're waiting for the weekend, or they forgot about it. But basically, the cash shop itself, people noted immediately how scummy it was that you needed 1/150 of the coins, but the $10 pack gives you 1/100. They've since said that they're going to end up removing that 50 and making it 1/100, so you only gotta spend $10 to end up buying some of these more expensive items and stuff like that. And they are going to end up compensating us for that. So anyone that's already ended up buying any of these items will end up getting that rune silver back. Now, on top of that, they've also mentioned that we are supposed to be getting a compensation for the sheerly terrible launch that this game ended up having, whether it be with the server issues, people's issues with the founder packs, and so on and so forth. They have gotten pretty much everything under control, which is pretty awesome, save for the fact that the loading times are still horrendous. Like, seriously, devs, fix it. It's bad. I have this game installed on my SSD. I dread to think how long it would take for people installing this on a slower hard drive, but they are supposed to be giving us some rune silver, or, well, I assume it's rune silver. I don't know what they're gonna give us. I think it would be fair to say they should give us $20 worth of rune silver, maybe a class token. I don't think they're gonna give us that. They're probably gonna give us like 5 cents, and then, you know, they'll tweet about how, oh, we gave out millions of rune silver to all of our trusted players, and oh my god. Even though the Steam numbers don't lie, this game is kind of falling apart and imploding in on itself. Also, real talk here, guys, you've probably already noticed the sheer lack of content in this game right now, and how it being a live service game means that we are not going to see new content until this current battle pass comes to an end. Now, that said, I'm still very much enjoying myself with this game. It's just I'm always going to be open to not only discussion of the game in itself and its entirety, but also just being open with you guys and fully transparent about the things that I don't like, because I love this game and I want it to succeed. I want it to do better. And that's why I'm just so open about these things. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents and my rambling on top of the patch notes. What do you guys think? Overall, I think that the game is slowly becoming more and more stable. But again, if there's one thing that would make me quit this game, it legitimately is the load times. Anyways, smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want to support the channel, and have a wonderful day, everybody. Also, yes, excuse me, I have a very, very sore throat. It's kind of why the videos have been a little bit all over the place lately.